Good day, beloveds, and happy Friday. Happy May 3rd, 2024, and welcome. If you have been on a job that has been harmful to you, has been, unsafe, been destructive, aka toxic, then you'll want to stay around for this discussion today. And if you're new here, I am Danny. I am a social worker and an aromatherapist where I marry the two, right? To help social workers and counselors and helping professionals alike to utilize essential oils, not only to help ourselves for our own self-care, also help our clients and those that we serve, right? So now I'm going to get right into it. I am excited and honored to have a conversation with our guest tonight, Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands. And when I tell you I've had a day that this was confirmation that I needed to talk to her today, let me tell you. All right, before I bring her on stage, I want to introduce her properly. Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands, also known as Dr. Kimani, is a licensed clinical psychologist in California. As a Spelman College alumna, Dr. Kimani focuses on supporting individual and collective healing so that clients can live a fulfilled life. Dr. Kimani draws upon her own healing journey as well as professional work to provide a range of services and products, including the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women and the Black Women Healing from Toxic Jobs coaching program for Black women who are interested in developing an exit plan to leave toxic jobs and pivot to a more respectful, financially rewarding professional opportunities. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on stage Dr. Kimani. Thank you for being here. I celebrate you, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes, happy Friday. Oh, you may have heard in my introduction, I had a day and I was like, you know what? Is this the universe trying to tell me I need to talk to her today, right?
Wow.
Yes. And, I salute what you're doing and what you have been doing for a moment. Liberating, right? Giving us options for us Black women to say, you don't have to stay there. You do not have to put up with the stuff. Yeah. You don't have to, dim your light to try and get along, to be along, we have options. Okay.
We have options. Yes. But first, Danny, I want to say, I'm sorry you had a challenging day today. I want to acknowledge that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I really do, because it was within the last hour. I'm like, it's Friday. Why do we have Friday buffoonery? Anywho, that's why we're having this conversation today. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get right into it. You talked about your personal journey and what led you to get to where you are now. And look, I didn't plug up my laptop, y'all. So if it goes cold on me, give me one moment. But I want you to answer this question while I plug it back up. Can you share a bit about your personal journey and what led you to focus on empowering Black women in their careers?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. Oops. So I've worked with Black women for over 20 years, but I am also a toxic job survivor. So as a toxic job survivor, I was working as a clinical psychologist for a school district in Los Angeles. And initially it was good. The job was good. And then it started getting really, really, really bad. So at the beginning, I had 2 Black women supervisors who were very supportive. And then when they left, I wasn't really had the shield or the protection from the toxic system that I was in, and experienced so much disrespect and so much disrespect. It was just ridiculous. So I, went from pet to threat. I'll talk about that a lot on my channel. Yes. So if your viewers don't know pet to threat is 3 Black women researchers came up with the term, Dr. Juanita Johnson-Bailey, Dr. Keisha Thomas, Dr. Rosemary Phelps. And pet to threat, this is exactly what I experienced, is when a Black woman is sought out for her outstanding abilities in the workplace And then she's like the pet, like they love her. Danny's so smart. Oh, we love Danny, right?
Right.
And then Danny, or me in that situation, starts outshining other people in the workplace, and it's a threat, like you're the threat, right? So it's a shift in terms of how you're seen and treated. And from that moment, Danny, just so much, there were attempts to really get me to quit, to put me in my place, to humiliate me. Just so many things happened. Even though I had very positive, like I've never had a negative job evaluation from that place, put in leadership positions, promoted 2 times, initiated doing different trainings, co-created trainings, all these things, right?
Yeah.
But when I dared to say no more about some things they were doing, they demoted me all the way down to my entry level position, right? So even though I was promoted 2 times, they're like, So they demoted me all the way down to my entry level position. And so I still tried to stay there. I still tried to fight. I still tried to do all these other things because as Black women, we are taught that we fight. Nobody runs us out. We're not weak. We're not punks, all that stuff, right? So that, and I saw myself as the Harriet Tubman at the job with helping to support Black students and staff and families. So in that way, I felt like I had to stay. But I was lying to myself because I was disconnected from the harm that I was experiencing at the toxic job. So it just was harm after harm after harm. I got sicker, physically, psychologically.
Yes.
With therapy, my Black woman therapist was like, girl, you got to go. It's going to kill you, right? And I took a leave of absence. And when I was on that leave, Danny, I had time away from that place. And when I had time away from that place, I was like, why would I want to go back there? It's a toxic system. Why would I want to go back there? And I was able to start replacing my income because at first I was like scared, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Right.
But then I started doing telehealth. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a therapist. I could just start doing therapy and start making money, right? So when I came up with that exit plan, but I was working with a Black woman financial psychologist as well. And when I worked with her to get my financial plan together, I was like, I'm not going back to that place. I'm not going back to that place, right? And I always shared that the pinnacle moment, right, in terms of me knowing was like all this stuff was happening. Like how you get 8 million signs, like this is not the place for you, this is not the place for you. And you're like, no, I still got it. It's not the place for you, right? Then I would see like Black women who weren't that much older than me dying or having heart attacks.
Yes.
Developing cancer, stroke, like all this stuff. And they weren't that much older than me, right? But yet I still kept, right? I'm developing physical symptoms, weight gain, difficulty sleeping, my hair falling out, really bad nosebleeds, kept going on, right? Anxiety, sadness, dread waking up, feeling traumatized by the job, still kept going. And I think I'm laying this out because I think a lot of Black women can relate to this, right?
Yes.
But the pinnacle moment was when I was on that leave of absence and I was in the shower and I heard the voice from God say to me, if you go back to that job, it's a death sentence.
Whoa.
That was it. That was it. I got out the shower, got dressed, I resigned effective immediately. Right?
Oh my.
And I called out the workplace bully and all her minions. I called them out by name, right? And people have asked me, because on my YouTube channel, I'm very open about my experience. I want to get this toxicity out of my system. So people have said, does your old job know that you're talking about them? And I'm like, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Because I'm open about it, right? Because I'm not ashamed about it.
Right.
And when I resigned, I included the superintendent of schools on that email. So everybody knows what happened to me. But again, that's a reflection of a toxic system. So that was about 2 years ago. I don't regret it at all. The only regret I have is that I didn't leave sooner. That's the only regret.
Wow. Oh, wow. Ooh, talk about a download from God. It's like, I was like, I've been like, whoa, okay.
And that was just a Cliff Notes version.
Okay.
I mean, just the level of humiliation, and the level of disrespect that you experience in a toxic job. And you just take it. You just take it. And it just, your body starts responding, right? The body keeps score. So my body was responding. all these things. And then my family was impacted because they're seeing what's happening to me. And it was a mess.
Oh my
It
Lord
was
have
a mess.
mercy. I'm glad you mentioned not everybody knows what the word toxic mean. We're not talking about an environment. We're talking about environmental toxic, but not in the
Mhm,
sense that you might think chemically, right?
mhm,
We're
mhm,
talking specifically about things that happen that affect you mentally, emotionally,
mhm.
and physically.
Yes.
So, having said that, what are some common challenges that women face in those type of environments? Like, and how can they begin to navigate those challenges?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to add something really quickly because I feel like it even harmed me spiritually
Mm,
because
yes.
I was saying, God, why am I in this situation? Like, I'm a good person, I'm a good employee, I help other people. Why are you doing this to me, God? Why are you doing this to me? And my Black woman therapist said,
Okay.
God is getting you, this is a rescue mission from God to get you out that toxic place because your mission is much bigger than this place
All
with
right.
insecure people, right? You're going to be working on a higher level. So that helped me because I couldn't understand why God was doing this to me. I could not understand why. It doesn't make any logical sense. And a lot of times we get in these toxic situations and we're trying to make logical sense, but you're not going to be able to make logical sense of it because you're dealing with deeply insecure people who are projecting their insecurities and their incompetence. They're projecting that on you. So you're not going to be able to make logical sense. So when I work with Black women, number one, I validate their experience
Right.
because a lot of times we feel like we're alone. We're not
Right.
alone, right?
Right.
I also talk to them about what are some ways you can get some reprieve away from that situation. So is it a leave of absence? What is it? Also, who can you talk to, not at the job, not a coworker? Who can you talk to who can help you reality test about what's happening? Because if you don't, the job is gaslighting you, and then you'll start self gaslighting yourself, right?
Right.
And then from there, let's think about coming up with your exit plan and how do we support you in that process, including making steps to replace your income.
Wow. Yes. All the things that's needed to make that leap to go
Yes,
forward, to feel
yes,
confident in order to say, okay, I can do this.
yes, and be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Mhm.
think that's the part that would keep some from moving forward because it's like, what does that look like? I've never
Mhm,
done that. Nobody around me
mhm,
has done that. I've been groomed, or my family has been taught you get a job, you keep that job for umpteen years until you
mhm,
retire. Quit. Don't
mhm,
quit. What you gonna get when
mhm.
you quit?
Right. And they start projecting all their fears on you, right? Better not leave. That's a good job. Better not leave. You're going to end up homeless. All the stuff, right? And so, just quoting Stephanie Perry, two things I want to quote
Yeah.
Stephanie Perry and Glam Mazzini. Stephanie Perry, a job is not a good job if it's killing you. And if you're accessing your healthcare benefits because the job is making you sick, that's not a good job. And then Glamazini, check the tree before you pick the fruit. So if
Mm,
people around you are telling you to stay at a toxic job that is abusing you or harming you in some way, and toxic is the poison of the system is coming into your body, right? So it's
mm,
affecting you physically and psychologically. So if people around you are saying stay at that toxic job, but they've never been in a good job, they're miserable, they're maybe don't tell them all your business, right? Have those boundaries, look to and maybe form community with people who do understand and who are going to support you because anybody who's telling you to stay in an environment that's harming you, you have to really look out for yourself.
yeah. Absolutely. And know what's best for you. I was
Yeah.
just celebrating someone who I was talking to today, and they was on the road to retirement. I said, I still let us celebrate you, right? Within a month, they're getting out. And
Wow.
I celebrate anybody, Dr. Kamani, who walks out. Not be
Oh,
laid out, not be carried out, not be stressed out, not be medicaled out.
mm,
Okay.
yeah.
So, what we're talking about here today is being able to walk out on your own volition and
Mhm.
not be so that you just at the end of the day, at the end of being at that job, you don't even know your name.
Girl, girl.
You're like, well, what is I don't even know how to get home because I don't know my name.
Right. So the job impacts not only maybe how long you live, but even the quality of your life. So if you
Yes.
make it to retirement, what's the quality of your life going to look like?
Exactly, exactly. And it's unfortunate when I hear situations of people who retire and then I'm looking at their obituary within the next 6 months or a year or
Is your
something.
dad? Yeah.
No.
It's like weathering, right? So that weathering, that the chronic stress that you're experiencing causes your organs to age earlier. So sometimes sometimes we might have the signs, like I told you about the signs I had, right?
Right.
Sometimes we don't even know what's going on with our organs because of the
Mm,
chronic stress, but the chronic stress is affecting us.
right. Absolutely. And you don't know it until you're able to get away and actually be able to woosah,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and sit back and for me, it's like, is it me or is it this crazy?
Right.
I got tell me if it's me, type
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, it's like, wow. I want to say hello to our audience. Hello, Black Woman Build Wealth. Thank you so very much for being here, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. So getting back, so you talked about the common challenges that Black women face in toxic work environments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my right now solution to you can get out is trying to do some self-care, right? I
Mm-hmm.
talk about like aromatherapy, for example, but how can Black women now navigate those challenges?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So several things. One is you need to be honest with yourself about how the job is impacting you and about what is it that you want in your life. So the first thing I would say is pause first, because when you pause, because as Black women, we usually busy, we juggling this, we doing all this kind of stuff, right? When
Right.
you pause, you can't really lie to yourself anymore, right?
Mm,
So that's the first thing. The second thing is if you say to yourself, this job is harming me, what do I need to do to get out? Start thinking about, okay, as I am continuing to work on my exit plan, what are the things I'm going to do for my psychological armoring as I go into this space, right? Do I need to, do aromatherapy so I feel certain ways I'm coming into the space or as I'm leaving,
yeah.
right? Do I need to engage in deep breathing? What is it that I need to do? What is my plan? But no, this is a short-term plan. You need to start preparing for the longer term and the mindset change of, I can get out of here. And I do have agency. This stuff is happening to me, but I have
Mm,
agency to decide what I want to do. I would absolutely say therapy is
okay.
very important
Okay.
because, again, you need to be able to reality test about what's happening to you because it is crazy making. So your therapist can kind of walk you through, and
Okay.
then you might need a coach to kind of tell you what the next steps are. Now, I would absolutely say right now, because we are in the time period of the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black
Yeah.
women.
Yes.
So if you are in a toxic job or if you've outgrown your job, then the Job Liberation Virtual Summit is a resource for you. So May 18th and 19th, where you're going to learn about ways to address those mindset hurdles that might keep you at the toxic job, but also how to replace your income, what to do about your retirement, your life insurance, your health insurance, all these things. And you're learning from other Black women who have gone through toxic jobs and who are doing well right now.
Right, absolutely. And across the screen, you can register for the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black women. The link will also be in the description as well. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So you talked about, so participants can expect to gain from the summit all those things that you talked about, and
So much more.
so much more. And can you tell us, will it be available only in live, or will there be a recording, or how would that work?
Yeah, so there's different tiers of the tickets. So general admission, you come in those 2 days, no recording. The second tier, you come in, you get the recording. That's your recording forever, okay? And then you also get the Welcome to Your Queendom Digital Fillable Workbook, which is a workbook that I created for myself when I was in the toxic job as a roadmap to get my mind ready to go, okay?
Mhm.
So you'll get that. The highest tier is you get the recording, the workbook, and then the next day, that Monday, you'll get a 1 hour masterclass with Dr. Roche Brown, who is a financial psychologist who I actually work with to get my money ready from my financial exit plan. So if you really want to leave soon and you're really trying to get those finances together, then that's the third tier. So later, after everything's over, people will be able to buy the recording as well.
Awesome. So you hear that, everybody? No worries. If you're unable to attend, you can watch the replay afterwards and purchase, right, for that weekend. So that will be available to you. All right.
And I just want to share too, Danny, that people know that Marissa Price and I are co-hosting this. And, you know, we are very intentional about protecting the privacy of participants. So anyone who comes to the summit, their names will not be listed anywhere. They won't be on camera. If they have a question or comment, they can change their name in the platform. Because we might have concerns about people getting our business and know we're trying to leave a job.
Right. Absolutely. So that's good to know. It's confidential, everybody. I want to say hello to someone else. Thank you, Case Mobile Notary, for being here. Good evening. Thank you. And I know the ladies who are on here could share this information, or if not already have shared this information. Feel free to share it with anyone who you think could be liberated. You heard them.
And Black women anyone can sponsor a Black woman to come to the summit. So in addition to registering yourself, you can also sponsor. Or if you're not a Black woman, you can sponsor a Black woman to come to the summit as well. And you could email me for that information. I'll put my email in the chat. And I'll also send that to you, Danny. So you can email me if you want to. Oh, it's not letting me. Let me see.
That's okay. What I'll do is I'll add it here. Let me create something. What is your email address, Dr. Kimani?
Yes, my email is Dr. Dr. No period. Dr. Kimani at liftingasweclimbconsulting.com.
Liftingasweclimbconsulting.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Did I get it right? Lifting as we climb consulting. All right.
Perfect. Yes. So email me if you want to sponsor a Black woman to come to the summit.
And that's beautiful. Absolutely. Because we do have counterparts who sympathize with our situations and who, they understand respectfully this is for Black women, but they might want also find a way to contribute and to help. Right?
Yeah.
They might not know what to do. They might not know what to say, but this would be a wonderful opportunity to say, you know what, let me sponsor you because I'm trying to help in my way that I can for you.
Yes.
So that is awesome. Wonderful idea. So that being said, how do you envision that the summit would help the lives of Black women who attend? Like what sort of outcomes would they expect or anticipate or nougats or whatever? I know you might not spill all the tea, but I'm
gonna spill all the tea. I'm gonna tell you everything they're gonna get, right? So they're gonna come in and they're going to look at their mindset hurdles that keep them at the toxic job. So we're kicking off with Stephanie Perry with Job Detox, right? And then after her, we're gonna have Kira talking about burnout. So Kira's an Exodus Summit as well. So she's going to be talking about ways to identify what burnout looks like. Because when when you're on burnout, you don't know it until you're deep into it, right? So it's important for us to recognize what are the signs of burnout and what to do about it. And then we're going to have Kamisha Jones talking about mental health. We're both mental health professionals. So ways that mental health may impact or may be impacted by being in a toxic job.
Oh, wow.
Very important.
Yes.
And Dr. Robin Scott is going to talk about ways that our sleep may be impacted by a toxic job and how to regain our sleep, right? What sleep skills can we implement so we get our sleep back? And then day one is going to end with Alicia Renice talking about ways to reconnect to our joy, our dreams, all those things that the toxic job has robbed from us, right? That's day one. Day two starts with Amory Archer, the anti-HR lady, talking about issues of discrimination and severance, if that's your experience, what to do about that. And
Okay.
then we're going to have Libria Jones talking about ways to find remote work,
Mm,
contract work, freelance work, right? So now we're talking about the more practical stuff, right?
right.
So, and then Patrice is going to be talking about creating a side hustle. How do you do that?
Okay.
Marissa and I are going to be talking about creating your own business. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to end with Dr. Roche Brown, the financial psychologist whom I work with to get my financial exit plan together, talking about how to create a financial exit plan, what to do about your health insurance, your retirement, your life insurance. And then, like I said, the highest tier, you can come to that masterclass the following Monday. So that's all they're going to get. It's a whole bunch,
I see. It's 2 days packed.
jam packed information, right? So they'll be leaving with an exit plan
Right.
based upon when they want to go.
All right. So you're gonna leave with a basket wagon full of stuff to
You're
carry
gonna be
with you.
ready.
Like, I got all my tools I need. I'm working my plan and
Yes,
planning my work and working my plan to get out.
yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. From Black women who look like us and who've
Yes.
gone through the experience, so we know what we're talking about.
Absolutely. I thank you for saying that, because that mentions about testimonials. So there it will be testimonials, and you'll have testimonials of people who have been liberated from these processes that they're going to
Yes.
be presenting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful, because it
Yeah.
helps to see people who are already done the thing, do the thing, like, okay, if they've done it, I can do it too.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. We need to see that. We need to see that.
Yes. And you mentioned something important about the presenter. I don't know if our audience knows, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So what better time to get your mental health in order if being at that place where you are is harmful, destructive to you, like you said, and all the things mentally,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, physically, and spiritually,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So something to be mindful of, and a few tips that they just put out there for us to be aware of, because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, falls in line with the Job Liberation Summit. It says, educate yourself and others about mental health. Be kind to yourself and others. Practice self-care. All right. Take care of your own mental health. So basically, learning what you'll get from the Job Liberation Summit is you're going to educate yourself. It's something that I can do about my mental health being here. Okay. You're going to be kind to yourself, because you're going to say, I'm loving on myself. I'm doing something for me. Right. And you're practicing that self-care, and you're taking care of your own mental health. So all those who are watching, who watch the replay, certainly consider joining. And like Dr. Kimani said, if you're not a Black woman yourself, you want to sponsor a Black woman, lovingly, we welcome that as well. So that being said, what advice would you give Black women who are
Mm-hmm.
feeling like hesitant or unsure about prioritizing well-being and
Mm-hmm.
seeking career liberation? They're like, I don't know about that, Dr. Kamani. You know, I like my good job, or I'm not going to be able to find another job, or what about my bills, or what about, the things
Mm-hmm.
that give you angst or worry, or
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. First, I want to validate that those are normal concerns that any Black woman probably in a toxic job can relate to.
Yeah.
Just because you have those feelings, to acknowledge those are fear based responses. And if
Mm,
they're fear based responses, can we be curious to look at where is this fear coming from,
okay.
and also look at the data? So if the data has shown you that you were able to get the job you currently have, you were able to get other jobs, what makes you think that you can't get another job? And as Black women, we are resourceful. So the expectation is not that anybody just up and leave a job without having a plan, unless you're in immediate danger physically and or psychologically. But the hope is that if you're having these fears, you're curious, you explore the fears, maybe go to therapy to
Yes.
further reflect on those fears and start thinking about, okay, I have the fears, I'm going to walk through the fears, but I'm going to get prepared and get ready so I can leave this job when I want to leave this job. And I deserve better. I deserve better than to be waking up in dread, going someplace or crying on my way to work. I don't have to live like this. I
Right.
really don't. And so, really saying and knowing that you deserve better than maybe the life you're living right now.
Right. Absolutely. Knowing that you are deserving
Yes.
is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
You are deserving to at least explore, like you say, be curious.
Mm-hmm.
What are my options, or what could I do? You might hear something that you might not have ever thought about before, right? Like,
True.
but if you don't know, you don't know, right?
Right. And if you're so consumed by fear, you're closed, right? So you need to
Mm,
be open to hear what other people are sharing with you, people who are trying to help you. Because if you don't change anything, you're going to just stay in that same situation and nothing's going to change for you. And
okay.
so change involves movement, it involves being uncomfortable, but you're not nothing about your life is going to be different if you don't take those steps.
Right, absolutely. And taking a step is a move in the right direction. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it's a small step,
Hmm.
but just movement, period.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's what I'm hearing you say. Now,
Hmm.
that for the summit, is there a community beyond the summit also that they will be able to partake in or stay connected in order to be accountable, so to speak, to help to support them?
Yeah.
Support
So
others?
Marissa and I are working on that, and we'll be announcing the after steps
Okay.
during the summit, right? So
Okay.
coaching or what other things we're going to have to offer as well.
Awesome.
I want
So,
to kind of keep that under wraps right now.
no worries. Understand. I'm just saying that all to say you won't be left high and dry once the summit is over. You
Hmm.
you will have that support system and be able to move forward and to do the things that you would want to do, however you choose to do it, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So thank you for that. Lastly, I want to talk about supporting the mission for individuals. You mentioned about people who can support the mission, right? That you have. You also have other ways you can support. I saw recently you have merch, right?
Oh yes, I do. I
So
don't
how
really
else
talk
can,
about that, but yes, I do.
okay. So we have merch. Is that new, or when did I was like, oh, they have merch. Okay.
No, it's been there. I just
Okay.
generally don't even talk about it, right? It's just I have different ways. The products and things that I offer are reminders to us
Okay.
about our worth, our value, right? So I have a Grounded in Greatness t-shirt. I also have a Sisters in the Struggle for Liberation with different Black women on the back, just for us to remind us of how many Black women have gone before us,
All right.
and they had to suffer, right?
Mm,
And I'm sure they don't want to see us suffering, right? So even though we're struggling and fighting for liberation, we don't have to stay in those moments of struggle all the time.
right.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. Now, where can they find your merch at?
Thank you, Danny. See, you're good. I need to be doing that more often, but it's, you can access it on my YouTube channel on the store section, and then
Okay.
also on my website, liftingasweclimbconsulting.com.
Okay. All right. I put some other of yours. Going to the next question. You rolled right into it. So I put some of your other handles here at
I
the bottom
see
of the
that.
screen.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you can find that merch that she was just talking about. Again, if you want to support, if you want it for yourself, um, definitely check that out. Wow. Thank you for, sharing with us your mission and your vision. I salute you for all that you're doing. Would
Thank
you
you.
have any lasting or parting words for our audience that you want, a takeaway that you want from all that we shared with them today?
Yeah, I really want Black women to know that you're not alone if you're in a toxic job, that even though it could feel humiliating, it could feel draining, it could feel all those things, I want you to know that you are able to leave. It is hard. You are able to leave. You have options, and there are options available to help walk you through the process of planning to get out.
Right.
And again, as I said before, if you want to come to the summit, no one will know you're there. So don't feel or have concerns that somebody's going to find out and tell somebody. No one will know that you're there. Okay. But be open to receiving the information. And if you say to yourself, oh, well, I can Google that. No, you're not going to Google all these Black women who are sharing with you resources and information, the how to, and they've gone through it. You're not going to be able to Google that. So invest in yourself, just as we invest in other things that money's just gone, right? There's no return on investment. This is a return on your investment. You are coming in and preparing yourself to liberate and save yourself. So prioritize yourself. Don't get into these mindsets of I got to prove to this job and they're not going to run me out and all. No, respect yourself enough to prioritize yourself, and also think about the impact that you being in that toxic job is having on your family. And if you are a mother, think about what are you modeling to your child or your children. If you're staying in a toxic job, what are you showing them? My hope is that you are showing them that if people disrespect you or treat you some kind of way, that it's important to start looking at ways you can find places that are more respectful and how to pivot. We don't want our kids, just like I don't want you, staying in environments that are harming you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are worthy. You are deserving. We are worthy. We are deserving to be in spaces where we're respected for our talents and our skills and appreciated, right?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you very much for sharing that. And again, you can sign up for the summit coming up May 18th through the 19th, if not for yourself. Gift to someone. Got a birthday coming up? They got anything coming up?
Mother's Day is coming up.
Mother's Day is coming up. You know, it could be a be kind gift, or just because gift, or pay it forward gift. Something, you know, that if not for yourself, for a loved one or someone that you care about or want to see uplifted to the best of their ability. Wow. So,
and Jenny, I see there's a question in the chat.
Yes, thank you. I was just about to check the chat. I said, forgive me, I'm not being a good host. Would the content of the summit be country specific, or people outside the U.S. would benefit too?
Good question. It is open to any Black woman anywhere in the world. We have Black women registered from Germany, the UK, anywhere. This applies to any country that you're in. Okay? So please come.
All right. So you heard it. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, that this summit is for you. Thank you so much for that question. Thank you for pointing out. I was like, I need to look. Did I see any comments, any questions? But I thank you all for being here. Again, if you're watching the replay, certainly check out Dr. Kimani's merch, Dr. Kimani's website, and all the things that she offers and all the people that she is associated with during the summit. All right. I thank you again, Dr. Kimani, for being here. Absolutely. Again, I celebrate you. I didn't get a chance to celebrate you in February as I was celebrating Black women and History Month. So I celebrate you, my sisters, being
I love that.
Black history makers out here doing the thing and making a difference.
Yes. Yes.
Being impactful, making a heartfelt difference. It is not unnoticed, my sister.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I received that.
Yeah, not unnoticed. So again, thank our audience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the question. And this rounds it out, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you got some nuggets, some good content, some information that you can hold on to and run with it. Run with it, y'all.
Yeah.
All right then, beloveds, it has been a pleasure. As always, as I say on my channel, let us continue to learn, grow, and share together naturally. Until next time, God bless y'all. Love y'all. Bye
Bye.
bye for now. Oh.